Alright, hello and welcome everybody to the 2025 iRace for the Kids, the second annual iRace for the Kids, in support of the Jim Patterson Children's Hospital here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. We are running through our practice session at the moment. These guys have been on track for about 20 minutes or so at this point, and they got about another 40 minutes to go before we are getting ready to go into our qualifying sessions tonight. As well, joining me in the broadcast booth, Mr. Justin Walburn. Justin, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Dom.
Well, first off, thank you for joining me here in the broadcast. You originally signed up to be a driver, but then you decided, you might have a little bit more fun with me in the booth.
Yeah, have a little bit more fun, put my uncle in the car for the night, and give a nice little sponsorship for the fastest qualifier tonight.
Absolutely, your iRacing wrap creation company, Misfit Creations, as you see on the bottom right of the screen. If you're looking for an iRacing wrap, Justin does some pretty solid work out there. I am running a Jeff Gordon throwback scheme that he created for me in an ARCA league I'm running, and it looks amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. From what the leaderboard says, our last year's winner, Kevin Dick, has a little bit of a contender this year to deal with.
Absolutely. Last year, Kevin Dick won the inaugural iRace for the Kids. Now, he's got a little bit of competition. Will Black is no slouch either. Larson Parker laying down a heater of a lap time in practice here in 18.29. Kevin Dick, a couple of hundredths off at 18.33, but it's going to be a tight race here, I believe.
Most definitely. I know I've raced with a few of these fellows before, and a lot of them have that patience for these long races and have the good pit strategy.
Absolutely. 200 lap feature race here tonight at the legendary North Wilkesboro Speedway. 200 laps in these cars is a long time. These cars are not easy to drive, and it's going to take a lot of patience.
Oh, most definitely. The longer in the runs that it gets, the harder these cars are to control. They get pretty loose on you.
Yeah, a little bit too much throttle, a little too early on the exit there, and you'll do exactly what you see this car doing here. That appears to be Jeremy Brooks in that 53 machine going around, just getting a little bit too much throttle coming off the exit and just looping that car around.
Yeah, that's the Achilles heel of this track. A little too much off, and you're looking the other way.
Absolutely. And you know what? Another thing we should probably mention is this race is not just for the glory. There is some serious cash on the line here. The winner walking away tonight with $500. Canadian funds, that is. There's a couple of Americans. They'll get a little bit of the shorter end of the stick on that one. It'll be a couple bucks less, but $500 Canadian to the winner. Over $1,200 in payouts to these drivers tonight.
Yeah, nice little payout for the contenders tonight. Definitely help out with funding the race programs.
Absolutely, and I want to thank our sponsors for getting us to that $1,200 payout there. Starosta Trucking, DJ's Windows and Aerial Access. Huge shout out has to go to those two companies for putting their money where their mouth is, helping us support a great cause, the Children's Hospital here in Saskatoon, Jim Patterson Children's Hospital. We're helping kids across Western Canada get the medical treatment they need by helping hold this race. Getting, it may only be a few bucks, but a few bucks can go a long way to a kid in need.
Most definitely.
As well, anyone watching us tonight, if you do wish to donate to the hospital, there is that link right there. That is my PayPal account. This race is being held in conjunction with a real-life race at Sutherland Automotive Speedway here in Saskatoon called the Race for the Kids. It will be held in June, on June 26, 2025 at Sutherland Automotive Speedway. The funds we raise here tonight through driver registration fees and anyone that donates through tonight's broadcast will go to the racetrack as part of that race for the kids and then go directly to the Jim Patterson Children's Hospital.
Definitely a great cause. So if you guys could open up your wallets and throw a little bit at it, it would greatly be appreciated.
And like I said earlier, a couple of bucks may not sound like much to you or me, but to that kid in need, it can go a long way.
Yeah, as a child that has a disability or grew up with a disability, these programs really do help a lot of people, and it's definitely a cause that's near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely, and I know we got a couple of racers that are out there on the track right now. I can't think of anyone offhand, but I know there's a couple out there that have similar stories, have family members or friends that they know that have gone through situations where they were in need of that children's hospital and may not have necessarily had the opportunity to get there, to get that care.
Most definitely, these the cost of hospital stays and stuff have risen over the years, and this definitely helps a lot.
But right now, a little over half hour left in our practice session. Top three haven't really changed. In fact, the top five have been staying fairly steady. Larson Parker on the top of the leaderboard, 18-2-9. You got Kevin Dick, last year's winner, Will Black in third. Brent Just, Jeremy Brooks tied for fourth and fifth. They're 18-4-2 to 18-2-9, and it's a spread between our top five right now. Very, very tight race.
That 127 of Ray Andrews is a pretty sharp car out there.
Yeah, and speaking of paint jobs that you've created, that 127 is another one of your handiwork that you did for this race specifically.
Yep, it has all the sponsors of tonight's race, and of course my logo on there. But I just wanted to make sure that there was at least one car out there that supported all these sponsors that have greatly donated to us.
Absolutely, 200 lap race here at North Wilkesboro. Tough track to race, but it's a legend if you're a NASCAR fan. This track hosted NASCAR Cup Series racing when Cup Series wasn't even a thing yet. All the way up into the 80s and into the 90s before it finally got shut down. But thanks to Dale Earnhardt Jr., we're starting to see a resurgence here at this track. It's making a comeback and finally saw Cup action once again for the first time last year.
Yeah, it was good to see NASCAR back there last year. This track, so iconic. There's, so many of my childhood memories that I remember watching Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott and all the big names of the 80s and 90s, race here. Great memories at this track.
Absolutely. You look at the list of NASCAR winners at this track, and it's the who's who of NASCAR. Like you said, Dale Earnhardt, Bill Elliott, Richard Petty. There aren't many small names on that list of winners at this historic racetrack.
No, definitely not. This track, holds some legends on its shoulders.
And we're going to add to those names of legends here tonight after we run 200 laps and crown a race winner.
Might be a little partial, but I'm hoping that 127 to Ray Andrews comes out on top tonight.
Well, I could definitely see how you'd be a little bit partial to that, seeing as he is your uncle. He is out there racing his heart out. He is doing a great job of it so far. Going to be a little bit further in the pack. So far, about 14th fastest car on the track, but it's a race like this isn't necessarily about who is going to be the fastest. It's going to be who can keep out of trouble the most.
Yeah, and Ray really has that stay out of trouble and very patient mindset when it comes to these long races.
Going to be a matter of just who's the most patient, who can save the tires the best. They do have 3 extra sets, but a little bit of tire wear can go a long way, and managing those tires, depending on where and how cautions fall.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be some strategy, and we're definitely going to have some cautions tonight.
But what do you say, Justin? We bring in last year's winner, and we have a little quick chat with him.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
All right, joining us in the booth here, Mr. Kevin Dick, last year's winner of the iRace for the Kids, the inaugural iRace for the Kids. How's it going out there, Kevin?
It's all right. Track is hot and slick, so I think it's going to be a pretty big handful tonight.
Well, and speaking of the track and being a handful tonight, what do you think is going to be most important out there on that track for 200 laps to be there at the end and in contention for a win?
I think tires are going to be the big thing. The fall off is pretty quick, so putting on that last set at the right time and trying to get some track position is probably going to be the biggest thing. I mean, if you have a 20 laps newer tires and the guy ahead of you, I mean, you're just going to blow their doors off. It's not even going to be a competition.
No, absolutely, and it is a tricky track. These cars aren't the most difficult or the easiest car to drive. They are fairly difficult, but you do have experience in real life in cars very similar to this, so I imagine that's going to help you as far as driving these cars on track.
Yeah, I mean, having a feel for the actual car definitely does sort of help into this, but I mean, I've been doing iRacing for quite a few years, so just the experience in that also helps. And then just practice. I mean, you don't have to have the years of experience to run quick. I mean, as long as you put in some practice, a couple laps here and there, I mean, you can figure things out.
No, for sure. And I've raced against you in a couple of other leagues and a couple of other races, and you've always been just crazy fast. Do you mind sharing a little bit of the secret on where you find that extra speed over everyone, or is it something you don't even know?
I don't know. Be smooth. That's probably the biggest thing. I mean, this is going to be more of an endurance race, so your pure speed isn't going to matter as much. It's going to be more just conserving tires. Just don't oversteer the car is probably the biggest thing. Because if you start oversteering it, it's gonna get tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's not gonna be fun.
Well, Kevin, we're looking forward to seeing you out there. 200 laps. You won last year's race. You're out here to defend again this year. Currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard, but it's a very, very narrow margin between you and second place Larson Parker there. I think you're going to have a little bit of competition this year.
I think so too. I mean, we'll just have to see what the long run brings if we get some. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Kevin. Well, good luck. I look forward to seeing what you can do there in this race, and hopefully we'll be talking to you in a post-race interview.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Well, Justin, that was our defending race winner. What do you think his odds are going to be? He's sitting on top of the leaderboard now, managing to get just ahead of Parker, but not by a lot.
He's definitely going to have his hands tied with Larson Parker tonight. From what I've been watching during this practice and getting to see his driving style, it's definitely going to be a battle between those two tonight.
Well, and even still, looking at the top 5, well, even the top 7 cars, top 8 cars, we're within 0.2 of a second in best lap times. It could be anyone's race at that front of that pack there in that top 10.
Oh, most definitely. James Pileski is another name that I want to bring up. Dude is legitimately fast, great racer, smooth. He's a past champion in the RMRL where I run and where you also broadcast. He's just a fantastic driver.
Absolutely, and I love to see that we got a great mix between, local drivers to me here in Saskatoon. We're looking at one here, Devin Boyle. We just spoke with Kevin Dick. He raced at Sutherland Automotive Speedway for a number of years. He now lives in Alberta, but still great supporter of our track back here at home. Jeremy Brooks, Matt Shirley also races currently in the Pro Late Model division at our track. Tanner Emo and Braxton Cruz, both racers at our local track. And then we got fellas like you just mentioned, James Pileski down in the U.S., Hunter Wellman, a young fella.
Young gun, but just incredibly talented.
Out of the United States, great to see all the support from all over North America coming in to raise funds for a charity event like this.
Oh, and Canada and America don't have a lot of differences. We're a lot alike.
Oh, absolutely. Canada is almost U.S. light and vice versa. There enough differences that we're our own people, but we're still close enough that we help each other out.
Exactly. I've always referred to Canada as America's top hat.
The amount of times I've heard that, we're just the cold and snowy northern states sometimes, but separate from that.
Canada is the 51st state.
But don't say that one too loudly, especially with the situation going on right now between the countries. But you know what? Hey, I'll take it at the moment.
Hey, all that political stuff, just throw it out the window. We love you down here in America.
Absolutely. You know what? And tonight, it's not about the political tensions. It's about the kids. It's about raising funds to get that hospital the equipment it needs, get the kids the treatment they need. And we got 16 drivers on track right now. I do believe there's a 17th that has not made it out for any laps as of yet. But 16 drivers on track at the moment, out here doing what they can to raise those funds to help kids in need. And yes, folks, you're not seeing double. Those are two identically painted cars. Devin Boyle and Will Black. Devin is the car in front, the 99 car. Will Black is in the 374, but there is no number on the door of that car. They are running identical paint schemes because they run in an iRacing league together, and they've apparently decided to, show support for their league.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, and ever since I started running league racing here with the Rusty Misfits Racing League and now the Ohio Valley Sim Sports League, I haven't touched the officials very much.
Neither have I. Honestly, ever since I started iRacing a couple years ago, I just really haven't got into the officials. There's a bunch of loose cannons in there, if you'd like to say that.
Absolutely, and you get into the right league and you get some far better racing, a lot cleaner, because it's more controlled.
Then we all have respect for each other.
Another local racer here, Cole Nixie, we're following along, currently 7th fastest in that 23 machine, a paint scheme inspired by the car that he used to own, his pro truck, red and white Toyota Tundra. This young driver here is also a champion at our track. He definitely knows his way around a race car and getting it around the racetrack, so we'll have to keep an eye on him tonight.
Yeah, still a lot of unfamiliar names to me, but I'm sure as the night goes on, I'll learn them all.
And we got a shout out in the YouTube chat here from Phenomenal Gravy. Sounds like he is cheering on Devin Boyle and Will Black tonight. Sounds like he is one of the regarded racer racing league drivers, showing support for a couple of teammates of his.
That's always awesome to see.
Absolutely. And another local racer here to Saskatoon, Matt Shirley, track champion. This guy, he actually made it down a few years ago, and he attempted the snowball derby with his car. He did make it into the main show, but he didn't last very long. Got caught up in a wreck, unfortunately, if I remember right.
I do vaguely remember hearing that name when I watched the snowball derby.
Great young driver, great ambassador for our track here. He's always willing to stop and talk with fans. Definitely the kind of guy you want to put in front of the camera if he okays it. Looking at the leaderboard here, looks like Larson Parker has found a little bit of extra speed in that machine of his. Currently sitting on pit road, but now back to the top of the leaderboard, 300ths of a second faster than Kevin Dick. It's going to be a scrap between these two drivers, I think.
Most definitely. I have a feeling that our cameras are going to be pointed at them most of the race because they're going to be putting on a show.
Absolutely. You know, the top 5 drivers are not very far apart, 18.25 to an 18.42. It's going to be anyone's game, as long as you can avoid doing what we just watched Devin Boyle do and sliding off that corner, getting that car sideways. If you can avoid doing that for 200 laps, you're going to have a good shot at this race tonight.
Yeah, it's really anybody's race. You just got to have that patience and easy foot out of the corner.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be a matter of not mashing that throttle. You almost have to get that car pointed absolutely straight before you can get full throttle, and the straightaways are so short, you're not full throttle for very long here.
No, just a quick second or two on the backstretch and then done.
Following along with Jeremy Brooks, another local fellow to this track. I can't remember what team that he turns wrenches on. He's not a driver himself in real life, but he does help one of our local teams. I want to say it is that 12 car of Matt Shirley, but I can't remember offhand for sure. But another local fellow to us here. We've got Kevin Dick back on track, looking to regain the top of that leaderboard. Not quite able to do it that time. An 18.59 the last time across the line, but see if he can do any better this lap. Gets it down to an 18.32, but that is not going to be quite enough. Why don't you say, what say you, Just? We hop on board with this 52 car and just see what it looks like from his point of view.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Just see how much he's working that wheel. Just every time he brings back to the right there, that means that car back end is starting to kind of kick out a little bit, and he's just managing how much that rear end sliding on him.
Definitely working that wheel pretty good.
big push of right turn in there to get that car going straight down the back straightaway. Definitely don't want to do that too much. Every time you do that, you know the back tires, especially that right rear, is getting cooked. It's wearing that tire out pretty hard if you're having to get that much turn into the wheel, going back to the right.
Yeah, most definitely. That's an every lap occurrence that's going to wear those tires out pretty quick.
Ray Andrews, your uncle, sitting 14th fastest right now, but definitely not a bad lap time. 18.69 last time by.
Yeah, it seems like more laps he gets in, the more he's figuring it out and getting the line down and getting faster and faster each lap.
Well, we've already made the comment in this broadcast already that it's not necessarily about how fast you are, it's about being smooth and consistent, and it's looking like Ray is very much doing that right now.
Yeah, he's a pretty smooth guy when he can be. I know that he gets in his head a lot, and that's where he ends up stepping on it.
Well, knowing Ray from the league racing that we do together, the series that I broadcast that he races in, he won a race a few weeks ago, and we've just seen the confidence in that driver soar ever since then. He is now a contender for that championship in that league series that he's in.
Yeah, well, he's in contention for second. Dean has pretty much wrapped it up, we do believe, but yeah, he's had a wonderful season, kind of mimicked the season that I had last season. Finished up top for most of the races.
I'll give bonus points to any of our viewers that can identify the paint scheme on this car of young Hunter Wellman. I'll say that, you know, it's another one of Justin's paint schemes, and we were both highly surprised when this young fella asked for this screen to be made.
Oh yeah, him at 15 years old, knowing what Daytona USA is, was a pretty shocking revelation.
But another promising young talent, really great on dirt track racing. Claims he's not great on asphalt, but he's holding his own right now. Best lap of the
Setting at ninth fastest. He's setting at ninth fastest right now, and he claims he's not good on asphalt, but he can definitely hold his own.
No, I teamed up with this young fella for the Daytona 24-hour race this spring, and I was very surprised at how clean and consistent he was throughout those 24 hours.
Yeah, I ended up watching quite a bit of that race, and anytime that I seen him in the car, he was pretty smooth, and as I say that, he hits the wall. But he's been pretty smooth, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. He'll learn everything in due time.
Absolutely, and like you said, 15 years old, behind the wheel of that super late model, doing a great job wheeling it around this very difficult track to run. And it looks like a lot of our cars are on pit road right now. Braxton Clues, another local driver to us. He's moving up in divisions a little bit here this season. Going to be driving a super truck as well as his sportsman or super stock car. There was talk about a late model as well, but I'm not sure if they actually are going through with that now.
He's definitely a good kid. Still has some things to learn, but I think he'll do fairly well tonight.
He's currently sitting 14th fastest, so he's got a little bit of moving to do to get up that leaderboard as far as practice times go. But practice times aren't everything.
No, just because you're the fastest in practice doesn't mean you're going to be the fastest in the race.
Well, and I've always maintained that you can lay down one blisteringly fast lap, but be wildly inconsistent. But if you can maintain, even if you're 2 or 3 tenths off that blistering fast lap, but maintain that lap time, you have a better chance of finishing higher than the guy that can put down that stupid fast lap.
Most definitely. Consistency is key.
And a pure weight scheme here of Joe Batrick. I honestly don't know much about this fella here. He is one of the kind of more random drivers that registered for the race, but glad to have him on board as he is currently 16th fastest. Has a little bit of moving to do, but definitely going to be one to keep an eye on, see where he can be at the end of this race. Coming down to the wire here in practice, a little over 8 minutes remaining. Larson Parker still at the top of the board by 0.03 of a second over Kevin Dick. Will Black about 0.06 off of Parker's time. Cole Nixie sliding his way up into fourth place with a 18.38. He's just over a tenth below. I say that as James Pileski comes up and takes fourth place away from from Cole.
Seems like Ray has a fan out there on YouTube land. Dusty Boots. Thanks for the shout out to Ray.
Absolutely. I kind of missed that one. Thanks for catching that, Justin. And yeah, people at home, feel free to mention in the chat there who you're supporting and give them the support that they deserve. This is a big race, $500 Canadian to the winner, down to $50 to fifth place, plus a couple other positions, or a couple other payouts. So a little bit of money on the line here for the top 5 and a couple other spots. The fastest lap of the race will get a bonus $50. And the hardest charger, the person who gains the most positions in the feature race over their starting spot, will gain an extra $50 to their name.
So I just got updated. Dusty Boots is Ray's mom, Sandy. How you doing, Sandy?
Well, and we got Hunter Wellman in the chat as well. They're saying he's not lifting off that floor until he sees that checkered flag. Well, Hunter, little pro tip, you're going to want to come off that floor in the corners. That wall's going to hurt.
Yeah, we don't need you out there wrecking equipment. We want to see you finish up there, bud.
Well, 5.5 minutes remaining in this practice session. Parker still on top, not managing to improve upon his lap time. Kevin Dick still chasing him down, not quite able to get there. I wonder if maybe this track is getting a little bit more heat built into it and slowing their lap times down a little bit. Oh, Sasha Johnson going for Cole Nixie. Great choice there, Sasha. Cole is definitely a very strong driver, very smart racer. Not the fastest on the board right now, but he's definitely a guy that knows how to be there when it counts. So we'll have to keep an eye on that 23 car of his. we got fans for Braxton Clues out there as well. Katana Clark cheering on Braxton in that 9 machine. Again, another smart young kid. He's going to go a few places. He's just got a little bit of learning to do and make passes clean, and he should be up there as well.
Yeah, I see a lot of potential in the kid. He can be pretty fast. Me and him butted heads Tuesday night, but little message and everything got cleared up.
Absolutely. Good young guy, great young driver, very fast in real life, but there is a bit of a learning curve between real life and sim racing. The big advantage to real life is you have the I'll call it the butt dyno. You can feel what that car is doing under you in that seat, whereas sim racing, you do not have that.
Yeah, unless you have a motion rig, you really can't feel what the car's doing underneath you, so you just kind of gotta guess on what the car's going to do.
Absolutely. But as we wind up this practice session, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we take a moment here? Stand if you're able, remove any headwear you may have. Let us sing our national anthems.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. Practice has now wrapped up, and we are getting ready to go with our single car qualifying. Each driver here will get 2 laps to set the best time that they can, and top 2 will automatically transfer to the feature race. Not that anyone's getting sent home, everyone will make the race tonight, but I just extended the option to the top 2 qualifiers to take an EOL at the beginning of the feature race, an end of line penalty, effectively. And if they are able to win the race from the back, they will pocket an extra $100 on top of the $500 for the winner. If they do not take it, or they take it and do not win, that $100 will be donated to the Children's Hospital. Got Kevin Dick on track, putting a lap time down. Did not seem to be able to put one down. I'm not sure if he reset to pits. He must have brushed a wall and got an incident point, which will disallow the time. So he's being smart and doing what he can to get a time in. But right now, Will Black putting himself on pole position, coming down for lap number 2. 18.28 at the line last time by, and does not better his time. In fact, Larson Parker 18.28 to Larson Parker at the top. Will Black is an 18.36. Got Brent Just here in the 93 car, finishing up his run. He is currently sitting 7th. Kevin Dick putting down a decent enough time to put himself up into 2nd place. Larson and Kevin right now sitting in the catbird seat and having the option of whether or not they can take that EOL. Got Ray Andrews on track, finishing up his qualifying, currently 10th fastest, coming across the line for the 2nd time. 18.63, not enough to improve him in the standings. He is going to qualify 10th fastest.
Definitely a good qualifying run out of Ray Andrews tonight.
Hunter Wellman, one of the final cars to put a time in, crossing the line for the first time here. Must have had an incident. It did not count a lap time for him. See if he can put a time down his 2nd time around. An 18.71, that will move him up to 12th position. And the last car on track, Braxton Clues, did not put a time down in either of his laps.
Must have got into the wall or something.
Yep. I will. Just had a quick question for you. I can't get my paint to show up. Is that gonna be a problem? Okay. I tried like 10 different fucking things.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I just spoke with our 2nd place qualifier, Kevin Dick. He's going to go to the back. He is going to try for that extra $100. He's going to take the EOL, Justin. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye on that 52 car.
Oh, most definitely. I have a feeling that he's going to come through that field like a rocket and I think he's going to be up in the top 5 within the first 2 laps.
Well, the first 2 laps might be a bit optimistic, but he is
I'll
definitely
give
going
5.
to... He's definitely going to get up there in a hurry. I got a feeling he is definitely a very, very fast driver, but he's going to have a little bit of traffic to work his way through, so... I am I'm attempting to get a hold of our pole sitter, Larson, but I'm not quite sure. But we are getting ready for our heat race here. Number 1. Why don't we take a look at the starting lineup? Will Black on pole position with that 374 machine with Jeremy Brooks outside of him. James Pileski will be inside of row 2 with Cole Nixie. It says Cameron, but that is Cole Nixie in that 23 machine. Brent Just will be inside row 3 with Devin Boyle starting outside of him. Then we have Tyler Emond in that 018 machine with Ray Unk Andrews in that 127 starting 8th. Matt Shirley in that number 12 car will be bringing up row number 5 with Hunter Wellman in that 64 car starting 10th. Row 6 sees Joe Batrick in that 27 car with Tanner Emond, 88 car, starting in 12th. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Tanner and Tyler are brothers.
See if we get a little brother rivalry out of tonight.
And just got a message back from our pole sitter, Parker Larson there. Send him to the back, he says.
They're both going to take the rear of the field.
Both playing for that extra $100. Both playing to make that extra money. Honestly, those two drivers, they've got a good shot at it.
You know, having the two fastest guys starting the back is definitely going to put some excitement in tonight's race.
Definitely going to give us something to watch. 200 laps of racing action. They got a lot of time to get back to that front. But they're going to have to be smart about it. They've got a lot of traffic ahead of them that they are going to have to pick their way through. Nora, I agree. Good luck, everybody. We're going to need it. We are going green flag racing here at North Wilkesboro. Heat race number 1. Great jump on that outside by Jeremy Brooks, taking the lead away from Will Black going into turn 1.
Little piece of information, Nora Pruitt is my wife.
Well, look at her go there. Thank you for tuning in, Nora.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, honey, and I love you, and you have a good night at work.
Will Black on pole position. Did not hold on to that lead for very long. Jeremy Brooks was ready for that green flag. Drove away on that outside line. James Pileski, though, settling into third place here. Just ahead of Cole Nixie in that 23 car. Everyone's single file right now, kind of playing it nice at this point, you know. There's not a lot of point in being too racy. This will affect where you start in the feature race, but you just got to try to get through this. Matt Shirley here in that 12 car, sitting in 9th place right now, looking to try to make a move on the Emond brothers, who've managed to get up one behind the other. In fact, Tanner Emond right now up 5 positions from his starting spot. He is kind of on the move.
I just got word from Larson Parker that he's going to pass the wrap on to the second fastest qualifier.
Absolutely. So that means that Kevin Dick will get himself a free wrap courtesy of Misfit Creations. We'll have to get the two of you into contact.
Most definitely, and definitely going to love throwing down something nice for him.
Well, 4 laps remaining in this heat race. Jeremy Brooks out to a comfortable lead. Almost a full second ahead of Will Black, but Will Black's got a mere forward. James Pileski behind him. Cole Nixie, Devin Boyle sitting comfortably in the top 5 as well. These guys are nice and kind of sort of spread out. They're not really playing too hard on each other. Hunter Wellman, you know, for a guy that says he's not good on asphalt, he's sitting comfortably in 6th position, up 4 spots from his starting spot.
Yeah, Hunter likes to fiddle a little bit when it comes to his skills, but he's definitely showing that he's got what it takes to run up there with the fast guys tonight.
Absolutely, and we got a little bit of a brotherly competition going on here. Tanner Emond in that 88 car. Tyler, his brother, in that 018, trying to sneak around his brother, looking to the outside. I don't know if that's a brave move there, but final lap, you got to do what you got to do. Jeremy Brooks coming out of turn 4 for the final time in this heat race will take win number 1 tonight. Will Black sailing down in second with James Plesky, Cole Nixie, Devin Boyle rounding out our top 5. Now, we did have this race set up. If we had more than 25 drivers, only 25 would have made it to the feature. So we will have a last chance qualifier. Everyone will make it, though. Getting ready for heat race number 2, the Larson Parker pole sitter.
No, this is the feature. There is no second heat.
They are, you would be correct. So Larson Parker on the pole position, Kevin Dick outside pole, but those guys both agreeing to take the EOL and start from the back for that extra $100, which will effectively put Jeremy Brooks and Will Black on the front row. James Pileski, Cameron Nixie in row 3. Devin Boyle and Hunter Wellman will start in row 4. Tanner and Tyler Emond, side by side, brothers in 9th and 10th. Matt Shirley, Joe Nagy, I apologize, Joe. I cannot say your last name, and I apologize for that. But Joe Nagy in that 777, starting in 12th. Then we have Matt Shirley and Kalen Morrow, Brent Just and Joe Batrick, and bringing up the back of this pack, Braxton and Ray Andrews.
The 18 and the 52 need EOLs.
Yes, if someone would be so kind as to send them to the back of the pack.
I need admin privileges to do so.
Press the right button here. Be ready to get going. Green flag racing here at North Wilkesboro. Our top 2 qualifiers both took the EOL challenge. Pace truck off the field. Jeremy Brooks with a great start again. Not good enough to keep Will Black behind him though. Still side by side for the lead into turn 1. And Jeremy Brooks still fighting to try to get that lead away from Will Black. In fact, he is able to clear him coming off of turn 2 that time. Turn 4. Side by side for second, but a little wiggle out of Pileski allows Will Black to get clear and come down in front of him. Cole Nixie up 2 positions into 4th. And we have a caution flag on the field. Not sure what happened there, and I don't think I can do a replay for some reason right now. In fact, I got my replays back. Looks like Kalen Morrow was having issues. Got a little contact with Matt Shirley there. Matt Shirley going through the grass. And then Kalen Morrow just going around. But That puts Larson Parker in 16th out of 17 cars. Kevin Dick up to 14th already. On that restart, or on that initial start, you know, only about 3 laps into the race, Kevin Dick already making a few positions up.
Yeah, it looked like Larson was on a trajectory to get up there pretty quick as well, but got caught up with the number 12 car.
Jeremy Brooks still in the lead, still in control of this race from the start, so... And currently, looking at the leaderboard, Ray Andrews, he is currently our hardest charger, up 4 positions from his starting spot, so going to have to keep an eye on that 127 machine. He might be walking away $50 richer tonight.
We can only hope so, because I told him any money he won, we split.
Well, you were very kind to give him your starting, or your driver registration fee, so I do believe that is a fair exchange here. But looks like we're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing, cars are doubling up. Looks like Jeremy is opting to start on the outside here. Green flag back in the air. Great start from that 53 car. Clearing that 374 right away going into turn 1. Poor Nixie in the meantime. He is fighting hard on that outside line, trying to take 3rd place away from James Pileski. James having to contend with that 374. Will Black gets a little bit of contact. They get a little sideways, keep things somewhat straight, but Will Black slows. There's contact further back in the field. Larson Parker getting a little bit of that action, keeping the car somewhat clean and straight, getting through it. Caution flag back out. See if we can see exactly what happened here. Looks like the 777 Will Black, not Will Black, 777 here, Joe Nagy had issues.
Yeah, that collected quite a few people.
I didn't quite catch what car it was. Came down, thought they were clear. That 777 just got into the nose of them and just started a chain reaction accident there. At least 4 cars involved.
Looks like the 018.
Larson Parker got a little bit of that action, but he has moved up into 9th place with Kevin Dick right behind him. Still at front, Jeremy Brooks, but Cameron Nixie must have had his nose ahead at the time of caution. Mind you, Will Black lost a lot of positions out of that ordeal too, so... Devin Boyle in 3rd, Hunter Wellman up into 4th, James Pileski down to 5th. Looks like Jeremy Brooks is preferring that outside line for the restarts. He's already kind of hanging up there. I believe they might be getting the order to go side by side here, as they are. $11 laps coming to 12 laps into this 200-lap feature. Already 2 cautions in. These guys are going to have to settle things down to try to get some laps clicked off here.
Definitely, this is a long race, and they need to show a little bit more patience.
Pace truck pulling off the field. Jeremy Brooks in control. Green flag back out. Another great start from that 53 machine. Able to pull down in front of that 23 car. Cole Nixie Hunter Wellman fighting on that outside for third. Looks like the outside line has a good advantage on the initial restart. But you need to get down and clear of that inside line as quick as possible, or else you're risking getting freight trained. As we see Hunter Wellman losing third to Devin Boyle, and now having to fend off James Pileski for fourth. Tanner Emond in that 88 machine up to 7th place, just behind this group battling it out for 4th and 5th. In fact, almost looking 3 wide for a second there coming into turn 1. Settle it out at the front of the pack, top 5 cars all single filed out, just kind of riding along, running laps there. Hunter Wellman finally able to get down ahead of Tanner Emond 4-7.
Yeah, it seems like they've all kind of stretched out and went single file now.
Well, we've definitely got a long ways to go in this race yet. As we're riding along with that 777, Joe Najee there. He is right behind, and he's got Kevin Dick right behind him looking to make a move. Trying to catch back up to that front of the pack, but Larson Parker already up to 6th position, just ahead of Hunter Wellman, coming up on Will Black for 5th.
Really not a surprise there. I knew he was going to be fast and get through that field pretty quick.
Everyone more or less single file here. Not really too much battling going on. You see Matt Shirley following Braxton Clues into turn 1 here. Nice wide entry going into the corner there. Don't really get down to the bottom, but you don't necessarily have to do that here at this track. You almost want to stay that half a lane to a lane higher.
Yeah, it seems like the middle of the track is about the best line.
Side by side for third, James Pileski on the bottom, Devin Boyle up on top. Give that position to Pileski. James showing some speed here early on in this race. Going back to our top 2 qualifiers here, Larson Parker kind of settling out in 6th there. He's got Will Black ahead of him. Kevin Boyle ahead of that. He is gaining on these two as you see him dive to the bottom, trying to gain as much space as he can on them. Close as much of that gap going into the corner. Going to sacrifice a little bit coming back out, but he's definitely got a little bit more pace than these cars ahead of him. He's just got to get his way around.
Yeah, he just...
Kevin Dick here working on Hunter Wellman for 7th place. Kevin, another one of the top 2 there qualifiers, taking the back to front challenge. Not quite able to get around that 64 machine just that easy yet. But he gets the long side going into turn 2 there, or turn 1, sorry. Not able to hold on to that position underneath that 64 machine, but don't count that 52 out just yet. Kevin has definitely got a lot of pace, but Larson's got the advantage right now, being ahead. Meanwhile, at the front here, James Pileski moving around that 23 car, taking 2nd place away as we have another caution on the track. Looks like the 18 of Tanner Emond having issues. A little bit of connection issue ahead of him. Or Tanner having a little bit of a connection issue. And just gets into the wall, and the car kind of behind him didn't know where he was, and then obviously he popped back on top of his hood and got turned around. Bringing out the caution for the 3rd time tonight.
definitely an unfortunate event.
Yeah, connection issues are a bit of an iffy thing on simulation racing when you're dealing with various people's internet connections. And it's tough racing around guys like that. It's tough being the guy like that. As we see Braxton Clues, Tanner Emond on pit road. These guys do get one fast repair, but only one in 200 laps. If you cause any more damage, you've got to deal with it. You got to finish your race out with whatever damage you have after that. Also see Matt Shirley on pit road. On top of the fast repair, these guys do also have 3 extra sets of tires to make it through these 200 laps, but you do have to use them with caution, because these cars aren't the fastest to change tires on.
No, they're definitely not. It takes a hot minute for them to get everything done and get you back out.
Even under caution, you do risk losing a lap, even just changing 2 tires with these cars. As it appears, we are back 1 to green. Jeremy Brooks once again on that outside line. Definitely seems to be preferring that launch on that outside. But we see James Pileski there on his inside, restarting second. Going to be a bit of a tough run for him to hold on. If he can stay side by side with that 53 car, there's a good chance he might be able to take the lead. But Brooks with a good jump on that start. James kind of was caught sleeping there.
Yeah, a little bit, which is kind of unusual. James is very good on restarts.
Jeremy back out to the lead, having led pretty much every lap of this race so far, but Pileski not content to let him just drive away like he did the last run. Take a look here, Larson Parker now up to 4th place, battling Devin Boyle side by side, clearing him going into 3 there for 4th. Now he's just got 3 cars ahead of him. Kevin Dick working on the outside of Will Black in that 374 car, trying to follow Larson back up to the front. Way to go in this race yet, but we see our top 2 qualifiers starting to make their way back through this field. The few cautions we've had have definitely helped them by keeping that field bunched together for them to be able to make those moves. Jeremy Brooks hasn't been able to walk away yet either after this restart. James Pileski has been able to stay right on that back bumper.
Looks like James is getting ready to go for that pass on the inside.
Does take a look to the inside through 1 and 2. Not quite able to get there. Settles back behind and down the back straightaway. Takes a peek off of 4, but once again does not have the run to get his bumper alongside. But we might have a race for a lead here going on. In fact, Pileski is there coming out of turn 4. Not enough though. Brooks has a better run coming off turn 4. Got just back ahead. Closes the door through 1 and 2. And take a look at this. Kevin Dick up to 4th. Larson Parker losing a couple of positions somewhere in there. Kevin Dick now the highest of our top 2 back to front challenge takers. Still a tight battle for the lead though. Pileski wants it. Brooks has it. A little bit further back in the pack here, Tanner Emond in 10th, Brent Jost in 11th. Brent currently holding our hardest charger award, up 5 positions from his starting spot. That would net him $50 extra. But he is working hard on that 88 car, Tanner Iman. Zonaji just ahead of them. Jeremy Brooks at the front, still holding on to that lead. In fact, he's able to open that gap up a little bit to the 093 of James Pileski.
Pileski seems to be pulling him in the middle of the corner, and then when they come out of turn 2 and 4, it seems like he gets a little bit more of a run on him.
Absolutely. Right now, it is a matter of how hard do you want to push as these, as that second place car. How hard do you want to push trying to get to that leader? You got Kevin Dick coming up. He is making the pass for third right now over Cole Nixie. You know that 52 car is fast. How hard do you push to try to get that lead from that 53 if you're Pileski right now?
Honestly, I wouldn't. There's still so much race left. You're just going to burn your tires off doing that, and I think just kind of settling back and keeping a decent distance from them would be the smartest idea.
Well, exactly, and, that 52 is coming, but he still has to get around you. You can make that difficult. Again, it's early in the race, as we have another caution on the track. It looks like Brent Just having issues. Brent Just in that 93 machine goes hard into that outside wall. I kind of missed what exactly happened here. Let's take a quick peek back at that. Down on the bottom, comes up, just gets into that 777 car and just could not keep that car going straight and turned it straight into that inside wall.
Yeah, unfortunate. It looked like the 777 came down a little bit and he came up a little bit. They just met in the middle.
But now strategy's coming into play. We're about a quarter of the way into the race. Pileski, Kevin Dick, Larson Parker, Will Black, all on pit road, all fast cars. We've got 6 cars not coming to pits, including our race leader, Jeremy Brooks. It's going to be an interesting play to see just how important tires are here now. And in that exchange of pits there, Larson Parker pulls ahead of Kevin Dick. Kevin and Larson have 2 cars in between them, the 12 of Matt Shirley, the 9 of Braxton Clues. It's going to make this race even more interesting. Right now, after that round of pit stops and 6 cars leaving, or not going to pits, Jeremy Brooks, our leader, Cole Nixie's electing to stay out as well. Hunter Wellman, Tanner Emond, Joe Batrick, and Kalen Morrow, all not opting to take this opportunity to go put some fresh rubber on.
I think that's the smart move for right now. I think that waiting until, the next caution or a little later in the race is the smart move.
Well, you definitely don't want to have to pit under green flag conditions here, especially with those guys now having fresher rubber, but cautions do typically tend to breed cautions. There is a chance that they might be able to get a couple laps fresher tires just by holding out here as we are ready to go back green flag racing. Pace truck pulling off, green flag in the air. Jeremy Brooks once again ready for that, and Cole Nixie not. Pulls out to about a car length and a half lead going into turn 1. Tanner Emon getting a very good jump over Hunter Wellman, sliding up into third. We got
another yellow out.
Looks like the 777 and Joe Naj. There's contact between Devin Boyle and Will Black ahead of him. He went off track to avoid it. Ended up brushing the wall a little bit. That was more Devin Boyle and Will Black, and I believe there's a third car in on that one.
Unfortunate for those 2 teammates.
3 wide. I think that is Larson Parker just ahead of them. I'm not sure who that white car is, but just ran out of real estate, made contact, and ended up going around. But, you know, last caution, all but the top 6 went into pits, got a little bit of fresh rubber. You almost have to be committed to your strategy at this point, though, as those front 6 cars.
Yeah, I would definitely be waiting until around lap 85, 90 before I'd go in for my first set.
It looks like the 12 car of Matt Shirley getting the Lucky Dog Award here, getting waved around the pace car and getting one of his laps back. Jeremy Brooks, though, commanding this race, so far dominating all 50 laps, a little over a quarter of the way through this event. Jeremy Brooks took that lead off that start and has not looked back. Getting ready to go back green flag racing one more time around here. Green will come back out. Once again, Jeremy Brooks taking that outside lane, leaving Cole to the inside. Hunter Wellman back up into 3rd place. As the pace truck pulls off here, good start again from Brooks. Pulling out to an early lead, a couple of car lengths ahead of Cole Nixie. Hunter trying to fight back for 3rd, almost looked for second for a little bit there. But has Tyler Emond on the inside of him, fighting for 3rd place at the moment. Pileski coming back up through this field though with fresher rubber.
Those guys that pitted are definitely going to have a little bit of an advantage.
A little bit of contact there as we got Tanner Emond going around in front of Hunter Wellman. There's also a crash going on a little bit further. Caution is back out. Joe Batrick here in the 27 car. Getting turned sideways by the 777 initially. And then Tanner Emond, they're 3 wide. There's a little bit of contact between Hunter, Emond, and Pileski. And then it just kind of pinballs and gets turned off the nose of the 64 of Hunter Wellman.
Definitely an unfortunate incident for those guys.
Just some tight, hard racing, causing a bunch of incidents here. You know, we had a decent green flag run going, but now it's just, like I said, cautions breeding cautions. But this kind of playing into our race leader, Jeremy Brooks' hands. He's able to save a little bit more tire now just because of all these cautions, and he's going to have an extra set of tires over the guys that pitted there a couple of caution flags ago. Kevin Dick, though, he must have gotten a little bit of that action because he is now once again at the back of the pack being scored in 13th.
Unfortunate with how good he was looking coming back up through that field.
Absolutely, you know, that 52 is definitely a very, very fast car. Was working his way through that field. He's going to have to work his way back through once again, though. But Larson Parker currently sitting 5th. Absolutely, Dale. There's been a lot of cautions. We knew there probably would be here at North Wilkes-Barre with this tough car to drive. So, a lot of cautions. It's definitely keeping this field bunched up together, giving us a lot of racing. But cautions breed cautions, unfortunately. As we got the pace truck back off, field back in the hands of Jeremy Brooks. Another good restart. That inside line, you do not want to be down there. We see James Pileski even clearing second place. Cole Nixie. And going directly to fight for the lead. Will we see our first new leader since Jeremy took it at the drop of the green? Absolutely we will. Pileski leading the lap for the become our second different race leader tonight.
Larson Parker just taking that fourth spot away.
Up to fourth, and Jeremy Brooks having to fight for second. Cole Nixie was right there trying to take advantage. Not able to get past that 53 car, but Cole very strong. Although a mirrorful of Larson Parker in that 18 car now. As we got the 18
looks like
low.
Kevin Dick is making a nice little jump up there as well.
Absolutely. Restarted back in the 14th spot. Now he's up to 8th. You definitely don't want to count that 52 out until that checkered flag flies tonight. But give third place to Larson Parker. He's got 2 more positions ahead of him, and he can complete that back to front challenge if he can hold it to lap 200. And looking to the inside of Jeremy Brooks. He's got the position. Jeremy kind of slid up high. Give second place to that 18 car, Larson Parker. 1 more spot ahead of him, but he's got a little bit of a gap to close now. A little over a second between him and race leader James Pileski. This race, Pileski still out by about 0.8 of a second over Larson Parker, but Larson slowly closing that gap up.
Larson is a hell of a young driver. He's definitely going to catch him here within probably the next 15-20 laps.
Well, Larson definitely working with some fresher rubber than most of the field, but him and James did pit at the same time. I'm guessing they took right side tire. Kevin Dick as well, making his way back through the field, restarted 14th, so he's already up into 5th position. That's a gain of 9 spots from the restart. Getting to be a battle here at the front. Parker has closed in on Pileski, looking to take that lead away. As we got a caution on the track here. Looks like the 27, Joe Batrick, having some kind of problem. As I believe that's the 018 Tyler Emon right behind him, make contact. Emon into the inside wall, not very hard, but Batrick going all the way around into that outside wall pretty hard. Caution flag back out on the track here. Why don't we take a moment here, Justin, to thank our sponsors, Starosta Trucking, here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. If you need some trucking needs met, gravel and such hauling taken care of, Starosta Trucking can definitely take care of that. DJ's Windows and Aerial Access, if you need some window cleaning or some great heights attained, talk to those fellas over there at DJ's Windows and Aerial Access. They'd be more than happy to help you out, get your skyscraper windows nice and shiny. Misfit Creations for sponsoring a free wrap to the fastest qualifier, which was Larson Parker, but we got a message from Larson saying he'll pass on that wrap and give it to our second place qualifier, Kevin Dick.
I'm really hoping he takes it, because I would really love to put him down something fire on one of the cars that he's going to run.
Absolutely. You know, I really can't do events like this without our sponsors. You know, Jason Starosta at Starosta Trucking, he is a great supporter of racing here in the Saskatoon area. He is really all in on helping out with teams, getting sponsorship money in, getting cars put together, doing whatever it is he's got to do to try to make racing great around here. His wife, Melissa, there with DJ's Windows and Aerial Access, again, a great supporter of the track. They do a great job out there helping us out with some lawn care and other assorted tasks at the track to make it look pretty, as we're getting ready to go back green flag racing by the looks of it. Plesky on the outside, Parker on the inside. Green flag back in the air again, that outside line just driving Pulaski back to the lead. Kevin Dick, Larson Parker right behind him though.
That top 3, top 4 right there is going to be an excellent, excellent race.
Absolutely, it's definitely one we're going to have to keep an eye on here. Let's take a little bit further back here. Hunter Wellman having a bit of a fight on his hands. He's clearing away that 92 of Kalen Morrow. Tanner and Tyler Emons just can't get away from each other. Matt Shirley not having a very, very strong race though. By the looks of it, he's being scored at least a lap down. As we got a battle for the lead. Larson Parker making contact with that 93, get him turned around. Caution flag coming out for that. Great driving by Pulaski there, not to hit the wall and not to get collected, but caution flag will be back out. right, getting ready to go back green flag racing here by the looks of it, Justin. What do you think's going to happen here?
Honestly, hard telling. It's been quite the race so far.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of everything. Leader kind of driving away as the green flag is back out. For once, we see the inside take off. Did not look like Kevin Dick was quite ready for race leader Larson Parker to pull away there, but Larson pulled away. Kevin has to settle down in second. Doesn't look like Jeremy Brooks is overly happy about losing the lead either. He is all over the back bumper of Kevin Dick, trying to get second place back away as we got Cole Nixie, Devin Boyle fighting hard here for fourth. Right now, Joe Nagy, our 777 machine, is sitting in the lucky dog, or not the lucky dog, the artist charger position, up 4 positions from where he started. Now, as he loses a spot to James Pileski, who is working his way back through the field after getting turned a little bit there to cause that last caution. Pileski starting to work on that 99 of Devin Boyle, trying to get back up to those top 3-4 cars where he was before that caution came out. In fact, we see a battle up here for second right now. Jeremy Brooks, Cole Nixie taking it away from Kevin Dick. Kevin having to work tonight to try to defend his race win. Coming up to the halfway point of this race, 92 laps of 200 complete. Larson Parker back up to the front after taking the EOL to try to earn himself that extra $100 bonus. Caution flag back on the track. Looks like the 9 car, Braxton Clues, having issues. Braxton all by himself just gets the back end going out around on him, getting into that inside wall, and you see the leaders are coming up to him. Almost loops it back around in front of the pack. Great job to get those brakes back on and keep from causing an even bigger issue.
Unfortunate for that kid.
Absolutely. He is a pretty solid driver in real life, but maybe there's a little bit of an adjustment that needs to be made to get back onto the sim race and get going a little bit quicker. He's definitely got pace. Just got to find that balance of control. As we see the 27 of Joe Batrick getting the lucky dog, getting to go back 1 lap up. Kevin Dick was on pit road here in this under this yellow flag. Got this young driver here, Tanner Eam, on that 88 car. He's been having kind of an up and down night, but fairly quiet. Got involved in a couple of the earlier issues, but he's still having a very solid night here. Currently running in 6th place.
Yeah, a few incidents at the beginning of the race, but it seems like he's settled into his own and is doing pretty well now.
Absolutely, as we are double filing back up here, getting ready to go back green flag racing. Larson Parker still on the point here after working his way up through the pack a couple of times tonight. Jeremy Brooks back up to second, restarting on the outside where we've seen that 53 car like to restart. So we might have another lead change here if Jeremy can get that jump on the green flag, and there it is. Jeremy not quite
Pretty
able to get
even
the
that
jump.
time. Fairly even that time. Oh, and he gets turned.
Turns in front of the pack off the nose of the 23 car. Unfortunate turn there for Brooks, having a very strong night tonight. Not outside of the top 5 until just now, after he gets turned off the nose of the 23. Caution flag back on the track. Just good hard racing here, side by side for position. Jeremy tried to get down in front of that 23, but did not know that Cole had already gotten his nose down there. Unfortunate turn for Brooks, having a strong run. Ending up at the back of this field now, going to have to do his own back to front challenge. As we see, Brooks is on pit road now, taking tires. I believe this is his first trip down pit road that I've seen anyways. Matt Shirley getting the lucky dog once again, getting back up onto the lead lap. Matt not having the kind of night that I would have expected from him. I honestly would have expected him to be a little bit further up the leaderboard, but we do have a very competitive set of drivers here tonight, and Matt having a quiet night, really.
Yeah, it's you got a field full of heaters, and it's going to definitely make things a little bit more difficult.
Well, and that 12 car obviously having some issues, putting him down a lap or two here and there, but now back up onto the lead lap here. See if he can make up a few positions and get back up there in the mix on this. One lap to green once again here. Field is back double file. Coming back to green at the halfway point of this race. Base truck pulling off, green flag back in the air. Another strong start from Parker. Able to clear that 93 Pileski. Pileski trying to get back down there ahead of Cole Nixie. Not quite able to get that door closed though. Nixie down on the inside for second. Pileski with the better run off of 2. Able to get down in front of that 23. Tanner Iman, meanwhile, making a little bit noise. He is now holding our hardest charger position, up 5 positions from his starting spot in 4th. Hunter Weldon in that 64 car. Again, you know, we talked earlier, he says he's not the strongest on asphalt, holding up in a top 5 position, but has Kevin Dick working on him to take 5th away.
Yeah, I like to call him the little liar. He definitely fibs about his skills a little bit.
Well, definitely very skilled on dirt. He's definitely got a little bit of talent here on the hard surface of asphalt. As you see the 52, Kevin Dick down on the inside of that 64 machine, looking to take 5th place away. Hopefully Hunter can get that door closed. Slams
James
that door.
Pileski making a move for the lead.
Absolutely, Pileski looking to the inside of our leader, giving a little bit of a bump going into 3. Moving Parker out of his way. Nice crossover from Parker, though. Getting into that bottom line. Not quite able to get alongside, though. Well, I wouldn't say new leader, but return leader, James Pileski, back to the point here. After a little bump and run on Larson Parker. Kevin Dick up to 4th now. Haven't gotten around Tanner Iman, looking to try to close in on Cole Nixie for 3rd. Things seeming to be settling down just a little bit. Everyone racing a little bit cleaner, a little bit more respectfully, at least in the mid-pack here, as we see Hunter Wellman looking at the low side of Tanner Iman, trying to get 5th place back away from that 88 car. As there's an incident between Boyle and Tanner Iman, Tanner going around, caution flag back out on the speedway. I don't know if Tanner got into the wall and checked him up into the nose of that 99 car. Exactly what happened here. Side by side with Wellman coming off of turn 2. Yeah, he catches that outside wall. Boyle has nowhere to go. Gets into the back bumper of Iman, sending that 88 around into that outside wall even harder.
Unfortunate deal there. Just barely catches the wall, and it slows him down just enough for the 99 to put him around.
Absolutely. And we got 2nd place driver Larson Parker on pit road getting some service here, getting a little bit of fresh rubber back under that car. Also Devin Boyle getting some damage repaired and probably a little bit of fresh rubber. Tanner Iman, same thing. Matt Shirley as well, all on pit road. But Pileski, Nixie, Dick, our top 3. Again, ladies and gentlemen, these drivers all paid an entry fee to race in tonight's race. 100% of those entry fees will be going to the Jim Passon Children's Hospital Foundation to help a child in need seek the medical attention that they need to have a healthy and happy life. And tonight's race could not happen without our sponsors, Starosta Trucking, DJ's Windows and Aerial Access, Misfit Creations. Those sponsors help us put on tonight's show, and we couldn't have done it without them. We couldn't have offered the $1,200 in driver payouts had they not put their money up to allow us to do this event tonight. And if any of you followers at home wish to donate to the Jim Passon Children's Hospital, the PayPal link is on screen there at the very bottom. It will be donated as part of Sutherland Automotive Speedway's Race for the Kids on June 26th here at Sutherland Automotive Speedway in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. As we get ready to go back, green flag racing once again. Pace truck is about to pull off, and there it goes. Pileski out on front on that outside roll. Gets a good jump over Cole Nixie. Kevin Dick in 3rd, trying to sneak past. Going to have to settle in 3rd, but has a bit of a struggle on the outside with Hunter Wellman trying to sneak away around 3rd from him. Single file top 5. Jeremy Brooks making his way back through the field after getting turned around at 3. Hunter Wellman, Jeremy Brooks, I believe that is a 777 of Joe Najee getting involved in all that. Caution flag back out on the track. Wow. A little bit of contact turns into a lot of contact. Jeremy Brooks looking to the inside of Hunter Wellman. Najee looking to the inside of Brooks, and then just a chain reaction spin there.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate accident there.
Caution flag back on the speedway. 3-car pileup going into turn 3. Brooks having a strong run early in tonight's race, now having a bit of a struggle as we see Matt Shirley back on pit road again. Matt did get a little bit of that. I wonder if he didn't get some more damage on that 12 machine. Right now, as we sit, our highest of our back-to-front challengers, Kevin Dick, back up into third once again. Definitely having a very solid race, but a bit of an up and down one for him. Caught up a little bit of some of the incidents throughout tonight's event, but still holding strong, keeping that car relatively clean. And up into third position right now, the second of those back-to-front drivers, Larson Parker, sitting in 7th place right now. Still a little bit of ground to cover, but lots of time left to try to get up there. Appears we are once again 1 to green. Cars getting double filed back up. Looks like we still have 10 cars on the lead lap. Jeremy Brooks Kalen Morrill, being the last of our lead lap cars. Everyone else behind him being at least 1 lap down or more. Pileski getting ready to take the green flag, looking to get that jump on the outside line. Pace truck is off, green flag in the air. Pileski out to that front, out to the lead once again, ahead of Cole Nixie. Hunter Wellman fighting for third against Kevin Dick.
Another accident.
Got another crash going on behind here. Looks like Joel Batrick. Looks like Batrick just missed the entry on the corner, gets a little sideways. Spins it around right in front of Jeremy Brooks, almost collecting the 30 or the 53 car and all that. Lot of cautions here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Hopefully these drivers can get things cleaned up a little bit for these remaining laps. About 80 laps remaining, a little less than 80 laps remaining in tonight's event. Been under caution for quite a bit of them though. Matt Shirley, once again, the benefactor of this caution, getting that lucky dog, getting him back up onto the lead lap once again. Matt having one heck of an up and down race tonight. One of the main losers on this, Larson Parker, now being scored 3 laps down.
Yeah, I think he's taking it back to the garage area and called it a night.
He is being shown as being out of the race. That is unfortunate for him. Very fast car for that 18 machine. Worked his way through the field several times tonight.
Yeah, just kept getting caught up in unfortunate events. It happens. It's racing.
Absolutely, as the pace truck pulls off one more time, putting the field back in the hands of Pileski. Green flag back in the air. Pileski with another good strong, as you see the 23 get a little sideways, spinning the tires coming on down the front straightaway. A little bit of light contact between Hunter Wellman and Kevin Dick for third. Hunter trying to fight back, trying to stay in fourth, but has Devin Boyle looking inside of him, trying to take fourth place away.
Looks like a good race for that third spot.
Absolutely, Kevin Dick looking to try to snag second place away from Cole Nixie. These two drivers have competed against each other on track in real life, now doing so virtually here on iRacing. Cole Nixie just ahead of that 52 machine though, but Kevin is not going to be content to sit back and just let these guys drive away from him ahead of him. Brooks, meanwhile, in that 53 car, trying to work his way back up after leading a good solid portion of the race early on. And you know what? We've talked a little bit about the hardest charger award. We haven't talked about the fastest lap award right now. At the moment, looking at the leaderboard, best lap time has been put down by our current race leader, James Pileski, in 18.48.
In race conditions, that's a pretty tough thing to accomplish.
Absolutely. It's not by much. Larson Parker did set an 18.49, but Pileski edging that out just a little bit. Currently running the fastest lap on the track. Kevin Dick, however, moving his way up into second place.
Looks like Pileski's just walked off from the field.
Well, this battle for second has definitely helped him pull open that lead, but now that Kevin Dick has gotten clear, Dick is running comparable lap times to our race leader. In fact, that time across the line, Kevin was very slightly faster than James.
Yeah, it seems like he's catching him a little bit by little bit every single lap, but he's still got a long way to go.
Absolutely, a lot of laps left in this race yet tonight. Hunter Wellman, though, in top 5, just lost 4th place to Devin Boyle. Boyle is starting to make some moves to work his way up through this field. Matt Shirley making a move on Kalen Morrill for 8th place here. Matt down on the bottom in that dark blue number 12. And Hunter Wellman about to get some pressure from behind from Jeremy Brooks. Jeremy looking to try to make his way back up to that front. But the lead here has been very slowly shrinking. James had a 1-second lead when Kevin first got around Cole Nixie. Now Kevin is slowly closing that gap up. It's now down to 0.8 of a second. Hunter Wellman with a big moment coming off turn 4. All kinds of sideways. Great job from him keeping that car straight, not causing an accident. Going to lose a couple positions here. One to Jeremy Brooks, and now fighting with Tyler Emont, trying to stay in 6th position. Still side by side here for 6th. Hunter's managing to pull ahead a little bit on entry as Tyler kind of slid up a little bit. Hunter able to clear Tyler coming off of turn 4 that time by, getting ahead of that 018 car. Still at the front though, that lead has stabilized at about 0.8 of a second. Kevin not able to close in that much more. And these two leaders running almost identical lap times every time across the line.
Yeah, he's catching them surely but slowly.
Our top 4, top 5 cars have all gotten themselves nice and spaced apart. The closest battle right now here is 4-6. Hunter Wellman has it. Tyler Emon wants it. Tyler almost had the chance to get it, but slid up a little bit, allowed Hunter to get clear of him, and now he's got to chase that 64 car back down. Take a look back here. Ray Andrews running a few laps off the pace, being scored 3 laps down. Still on the track, still fighting to keep in this event though. Got to admire that tenacity to be down that much and still stay in it and still fight for where you need to be on the track.
Yeah, there's no quitting Ray's blood. He's He's definitely one of those guys that no matter what, he's going to come back out and he's going to try to get the best spot that he can be.
Absolutely, but you know how I was saying that lead kind of stabilized? Well, not so stable anymore. Kevin able to shave off another couple of tenths those last few laps.
He's definitely catching him.
About 54 laps remain in this race here. Kevin Dick slowly reeling in our leader, James Pileski, trying to claim that extra $100 for starting at the back of this pack. Kevin looking to defend his title from last year, so definitely going to have to keep an eye on this battle right here.
Oh, most definitely, and he is sponsored by Misfit Creations, so he's definitely proven one for the team right now.
Helps if I hit the button again. Anyone watching here tonight wants to have a custom paint scheme created for their iRacing car, talk to my buddy here, Justin, at Misfit Creations. He is a very good painter. He will get you definitely set up with a scheme you will love to run.
I can definitely help with your creative needs.
That gap keeps on shrinking, now down to a half a second here between Pileski and Kevin Dick in second.
Yeah, and we got some lap cars coming up too, and that's definitely going to factor into the equation here.
Absolutely. Got to think that these leaders are going to have to find their way around these lap traffic cars, and the lap traffic has no need. There's no requirement for these slower cars to move out of the leader's way. They can fight for their position to try to stay on that lead lap. They will be shown a blue flag, but that does not mean they have to move over and let these guys go by. We'll see as he comes up to Kalen Morrow right there in the 92 car. Kalen running his line. He just has to be predictable. It's up to the passing car to make that pass smoothly, but he moves up to the
Kalen
outside
looks like
line.
he's letting him by.
It is a very courteous move to move out of the leader's way and let them go by. You are not part of their race. Why be a factor in it?
Right, right.
But that leaves Ray Andrews just ahead of these two lead cars. They'll be caught up to him in a couple of laps' time.
And if I know Ray, he's gonna get out these guys' way and let them go.
Well, and especially in Ray's position, he's already a few laps down. He is not a factor in this race, but he can be a factor in the race if he doesn't get out of the way, and it's got a good chance of ending his night if he gets in the way. So there's no point to being that guy.
Yeah.
And we see Ray moving out of James's way, allowing that leader to go clear, get around him. But that has allowed Pileski to open that gap back up a couple of tenths of a second over Kevin Dick. Right now, let's take a look back here. The car they just lapped, Kalen Morrow in that 92 car. Or actually, no, I am wrong. Ray Andrews, the car they just lapped. is currently sitting in our hardest charger position, up 7 positions from his starting spot. Ray Andrews looking to walk away $50 richer tonight.
I'm proud of him. He never gives up. He's always fighting for, you know, the next spot, and it just proves his tenacity that he's there to try to just be on track at all points and times.
Absolutely, and you know, these bigger races, especially, you know, money races like this, it's just a matter of you do not give up. No matter how bad things look, you gotta get back out there and run laps so you can make positions, and you might just get a little something out of it. And you know, and Ray is sitting in that catbird seat right now. But right now at the lead, Kevin has closed those couple tenths that James was able to open back up through that lap traffic. Kevin slowly bringing that leader back into play. We might have a battle for the lead before this race is over if we stay green. But looking back through the field, everyone back kind of sort of separated out. And Kalen Morrow letting more of this lead lap traffic go by him. As he gets into the wall a little bit, that allows, I believe that's Devin Boyle to go around him. Yes, that's a 99 of Devin Boyle. Devin having a solid run here, running in the last payout position in 5th. Bit of a caution fest to begin tonight's race, but here the last 40 so laps, we have stayed green flag racing. Everyone's settling out. Looks like we might have a good shot at going green right to the check flag if they keep racing like they are right now. Well, Justin, we're coming up to 30 laps remaining in this race. From what we've seen so far in tonight's event, what do you think you need to do if you're one of these lead lap cars to have a shot at this win?
I would just get as close as I possibly could to the first place car and just kind of sit there until maybe about the last 5 laps, and that's when I'm really going to start putting the pressure on him.
Well, I don't think Kevin heard you there. He is now a quarter of a second behind our race leader, James Pileski, and he is already starting to apply that pressure.
Yeah, it seems like he wants it, and he wants it now.
Well, if I know anything about James, he is not going to give Kevin an easy time to get around him. Kevin's going to have to earn that pass.
Oh, and trying to pass James, no matter what the position, you have to earn that position from James. He's definitely quite the competitor, and he's one of the finest racers that I've raced with on iRacing.
Absolutely. James, a very fast driver, but Kevin also a crazy fast driver. It's going to be a heads-up battle here for these last 28 laps to see who can take home that checkered flag. Looking at lap times as they go across the line, they are within hundredths of a second of each other, time after time, lap after lap. So it's any one of these drivers' races right now.
Most definitely. These guys are putting on one hell of a show for being the only 2 cars up front right now.
Yeah, they have over 5 seconds back to third place Cole Nixie. Cole's got a second and a half back to Jeremy Brooks in 4th. Jeremy's got another second and a half back to 5th place Devin Boyle. But there is a battle for the lead. 26 laps remaining in this race. Kevin Dick is at that back bumper.
Here at the 25 lap to go mark, it just seems like either one of these guys could easily win this race.
Oh, absolutely. It is either one of these guys or drivers' races to lose right now. They have been at the front of this pack the entire time. Well, other than Kevin having to work his way through the field a couple of times, having taken the back-to-front challenge. But
And you know that extra 100 is definitely on his mind right now.
oh, for sure. He sees that little bit of a carrot waving in front of that nose of that super late model, and he is intending to chase that to the checkered flag. A little bit further back here, Matt Shirley catching up to lap traffic of Kalen Morrow. Looking to get around him, but Matt's got a couple of seconds ahead to catch up to a position that he can actually chase. That is Hunter Wellman ahead of him. A gap at the front, kind of stabilized. In fact, James has been able to open up another about a tenth of a second. Kevin might be just kind of letting his tires cool off as he hangs with James for the moment.
Yeah, it seems like he's letting his tires cool off, and he's going to give him another run for his money here within the next 10 laps or so.
Well, 20 to go here at the line. These two are catching back up to some more lap traffic just ahead of them by the looks of it. I believe that is Kalen Morrow just ahead of our leaders. And yes, that would be the 92 car, Kalen Morrow, just ahead of our leaders there. He will be a factor in this race for the lead here, if I'm not mistaken. Nice long green flag run here towards the end of this race. But we are not going to be having a runaway leader by the looks of things. James Pileski still holding on. Kevin Dick still chasing him down. See if Kalen Morrow gets out of these leaders' way to let them go on by. It does appear that Kalen's going to give them the inside lane, let them have the easier pass on the bottom. In fact, he gets so far out of the way, he tries moving the wall.
He's just trying to make extra room.
Hunter Wellman here in 6th position, just outside of that last payout position. But he's got 3.5 seconds ahead of him to try to catch, to get to that last payout position that Devin Boyle is currently holding. $1,200 on the line for the top 5, plus our fastest lap and hardest charger. $500 to the winner, plus an extra 100 if Kevin Dick can get around that 093 car ahead of him. Pileski able to open that gap back up. It is now back up to about a half a second between him and Kevin. Going to have
he stretched that lead out just a little bit.
And we will have a battle for third here before too long. Jeremy Brooks back up there, catching up to that 23 car, Cole Nixie.
Good to see he came back from that accident and is back up here in this top 5.
Yeah, very strong car in that 53 of Jeremy Brooks. Led a good portion of the first half of the race. Little bit of an incident that got him turned sideways, sent him to the back of the pack, but he is back up here in the top 5. Looking to sneak away third place. He looks to the inside on Cole Nixie. Cole is going to move up, give him the space to go. A little bit of contact as they go through turns 1 and 2 there. Keep it straight, keep it going. Cole Nixie, though, is going to be able to close that door, but Brooks not letting go on that bottom line. Still has his bumper in there, so 3 and 4. You see the handling of these cars starting to go away. It is hard for Jeremy to keep the car on that bottom there coming into the corner. Has to fall back in line behind that 23 car, but he is going to come and take a look again coming out of turn 4. Gap had opened up. Now it is closed back down to 0.3 of a second for the lead. Kevin Dick not giving up. Under 10 laps to go. 8 to go, in fact. Coming down the back straightaway. As we have a caution on the track.
We got a yellow.
That is going to change the complexion of this race, as it looks like Jeremy Brooks having an issue once again. Side by side with Cole Nixie coming off of turn 4. Trying to get around a lap car, and they just make some slight contact, and that ends up turning the 53 of Jeremy Brooks around. Late race caution.
Unfortunate.
That is going to throw one heck of a wrench into this race at the front, bringing bringing all the lead lap cars back into contention. Our two leaders, Plesky and Kevin Dick, on pit road, looking for that last set of feel goods. In fact, everyone on the lead lap on pit road. See, Plesky takes 2 tires, as does Kevin. Kevin comes out ahead of Plesky. That could be huge.
That's definitely going to change the outlook of this race. It's going to be quite the finish.
Oh, absolutely. With us restarting under 5 laps to go, it might very well be a green-white checkered finish here, effectively. And Kevin Dick now on pole, ahead of James Pileski, who has been a very strong competitor so far. It's going to be a fight, though, to see who's going to be able to take advantage of that fresh rubber. See Ray Andrews, Hunter Wellman just ahead of our 2 leaders. Just between them and the pace truck. They will get the wave around before we go green here, I do believe, or they should anyway. But that incident brings Hunter back up into the top 5. Matt Shirley up into 6. Ray Andrews, though, he is firmly holding on to that Hardest Charger award. Still up 8 positions in 9th place from where he started this race. Looks like we are getting ready to go back green flag racing. Cars are now double filed back up. Side by side. Pace truck should be pulling off, and there it goes. Field in the hands of that 52 car, Kevin Dick, and a great restart by Kevin. Clears James Pileski handily going into turn 1. 3 laps remaining.
He's not going to have it so easy.
No,
James is going to put that pressure on him.
James is not going to go into the sunset lightly. Hard-fought battle here for the lead. Hard-fought battles. We got Cole Nixon going around. Caution flag coming back out. We will be going green-white checkered. Jeremy Brooks, Cole Nixie fighting side by side for 3rd place. Jeremy trying for the crossover, but Cole gets into the wall. Jeremy gets a little bit of the back bumper of the 23 car, just enough to continue sending him all the way around. Cole with a strong run tonight, having issues late in tonight's event. Green-white checkered for tonight's event here. They do get 3 attempts at the green-white checkered to finish tonight's race off under green flag racing. Going to have attempt number 1 right here. Kevin Dick with a great restart that last time. James Pileski having to slot in just behind him. Jeremy Brooks in 3rd. Hunter Wellman up to 4th. Cameron Nixie down to 5th after running in the top 3 and 4 the entire night. Devin Boyle on the outside looking in for that last payout position. Appears we only have 6 cars remaining on the lead lap at this point.
This is going to be a wild shootout for the finish.
Absolutely. Kevin looking to win $600 on the night. James Pileski not wanting to let him claim that extra 100. One more time before we go green flag racing once again here, we need to give a big shout out to our race sponsors: Starosta Trucking, DJ's Windows and Aerial Access, Misfit Creations. Like I said earlier, I can't say it enough. Without our sponsors, we can't have a race like this. We can't go out there and raise these funds for the children that need them. Looks like we are about to go green flag racing as when we come back to the line. Green, white, checkered, 3 laps to try to settle this out. Justin, 3 laps. You got 6 cars on the lead lap. What do you do to win this race right now?
Oh, that's a tough one. And if it was me out there trying to win this, I'm using that chrome horn.
Well, we are definitely going to have to keep an eye out for that as the green flag is back in the air. Another great start. Looks like James might have spun his tires ever so slightly. Looked like the back end kind of stepped out on that 093, but Hunter Wellman taking advantage of that start up to 3rd. Kevin Dick in the catbird seat right now, up at the pole. At the front of this pack as we come white flag one more time around this racetrack. Kevin Dick looking to take that $100 bonus for starting at the back. Down the back straightaway, 3 and 4 one more time. James Pileski has one last shot at this. He is not going to be there. Kevin Dick coming off turn 4 will win at North Wilkesboro. James Pileski comes in 2nd. Hunter Wellman holds on for 3rd for a kid that says he can't race asphalt. Jeremy Brooks 4th. Cole Nixie brings in 5th. Devin Boyle 6th. Justin, what a finish.
That was pretty crazy. And big shout out to Hunter Wellman, the young gun out here, coming in and taking that 3rd position. I'm proud of you, buddy. Thank you for representing Misfit Creations.
Absolutely. Now, as we get our top 3 on the front straightaway, get in the picture. You see Kevin Dick there burning it down. He is one happy fellow right now, $600 richer after taking that checkered flag tonight. I mean, he
not only $600 richer, but also coming out with that free wrap from Misfit Creations. He's done a clean sweep tonight.
Absolutely. He is a very strong competitor, successfully managed to defend his championship, or his race win from last year. He is 2 for 2 in the iRace for the kids. We are going to have to wait till they come into the interview room here to have their post-race interview. But big congratulations out to that 52 team. Kevin Dick winning tonight's 2nd annual iRace for the kids.
So is it confirmed that Ray Andrews got the Hard Charger Award?
Ray Andrews got the Hard Charger Award, up 9 positions from his starting spot. James Pileski with the fastest lap, I believe. I'll have to double check that. It is showing Kevin Dick with the fastest lap, but I am having trouble believing that. I'll have to check after the race, but I do believe it is Pileski with the fastest lap win. But why don't we start off our post-race interviews with our 3rd place finisher, that young fella, 15 years old, that says he is no good on asphalt and coming up with a podium position, Hunter Wellman. Hunter, how's it going?
Man, I couldn't be happier right now. I definitely did not expect that to happen tonight.
Well, it was definitely a little bit of a chaotic race there, Hunter. How difficult was it to navigate the chaos through that first half?
Man, I really think it just depended on each caution. Sometimes it was easier for me depending on where the wreck was, but other times I had to slam on the brake and lock up all my wheels just trying to not get damage.
Well, you definitely managed to maintain your car in good enough shape to be up there at the end of this race. Hunter, you know, like I said here, you really claim not to be very good on asphalt, and yet you come out to this race, which is a very difficult car to drive on a fairly tough track to tame, and you managed to maintain yourself and be there at the end when it counted.
Yeah, I put a lot of practice time into this car. I knew it was going to be a handful, especially for the distance we were going. Tire wear was going to be a huge role, so I just tried doing 50 and 100 lap runs as much as I could.
Well, Hunter, you know what? Definitely a huge congratulations out to you. It's a not a small feat to stay out there for 200 laps and stay on the lead lap the entire time. You did a great job. Justin, do you have anything for this young fella right now?
I just want to say thank you for representing Misfit Creations the way you did tonight. You handled yourself like a professional, and I can hear it in your voice, brother. This is a big win for you, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. That car was beautiful out there tonight. Daytona USA throwback.
Yeah, we were talking about how such a young kid like yourself could remember what Daytona USA was, and we're proud of you, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I remember being 5 years old with Daytona USA being my first ever racing game, so this car is really special to me.
Well, I'm sure it's even more special after coming in third place tonight, Hunter. I'm sure you got a few sponsors on that car you want to thank.
Oh yeah. First, again, I want to thank Misfit Creations. Justin does all of my cars, including this one, and it was beautiful out there tonight. Tom, I want to thank you for broadcasting and putting this race on. It was an amazing night. I'd like to thank Steel City Synthetics, Disabled American Veterans, RJB Automotive, KRS Clothing, Kelner Range and Supply, and Hairstyles with John. I believe that's all. I might forget any. I'm very excited right now.
Well, you
So,
ought to be, Hunter. That was a hell of a race. Like I said, tough car, tough track combination. You held on, and a late race caution puts you in position to make a few moves, get yourself up to third, and bring home. I do believe that's $150 Canadian to you.
holy.
Don't
I might have to do some conversions there, but that sounds like a lot.
Sounds like you might be able to buy a few tracks and run the full ARCA series in the Rusty Misfits Racing League with us.
I might have to.
I'm going to put pressure on you to do that.
Well, I'll have to start buying tracks then. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, congratulations, Hunter, on third place. It's well deserved.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our second place finisher is in the booth with us now, Mr. James Pileski. James, how are you doing? Walk us through those last 50 laps with Kevin coming up behind you.
Well, I'm watching. My relative. I'm like, for a while there was keeping him like 0.8 behind. I'm like, okay, and then he'd gain a little, then I'd gain a little, then, the lap cars kind of interfered a little bit. Like nothing too crazy. Just, he picked up some time on me, and then, he got to like 2/10, and then I kind of pulled back, and I pulled back to half a second or half a tenth, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, all right, I think we're good. Like as long as the caution doesn't come out, I'm like, we are good. Like he might be able to get to me, but he's not passing me unless he moves me, and I hope he doesn't. But that's always. I was just trying to make sure he couldn't have that opportunity. Well, then whoever in the back decided to bring out a yellow, and that didn't work out well for me. And then I don't know how he beat me off of pit road. I have no idea, but he did, and kudos to him, man. I mean, he drove a good race. I told you, Tom, it wasn't going to be easy for him. I wanted to make him work for it, and I feel like I did that. It's not one of my better places as a track altogether. So happy with second. I was wiping sweat out of my eyes that last 40 laps, and what are you gonna do? Just come up short.
Well, you know, like you put on a heck of a race there, and Justin and I, we were kind of watching the lap times between you and Kevin those last 50 or so laps there. And you guys were trading fastest lap times between each other. You guys were about a couple of hundredths of a second off each other, lap after lap after lap. It was absolutely a joy to watch a two of you race. You claimed you weren't going to do too well tonight coming into tonight's race, but came in here, you led a lot of laps, a very decent number of laps, especially in that last
109.
and
109. Yeah.
so the most laps led tonight, and I do believe, I'll have to double check on the official race results, but I do believe you won the bonus $50 for setting down the fastest lap tonight in the feature race.
No, I don't think so. I think Kevin got me by just a little bit. On the same lap.
Leading up to the end of the race, you were slightly ahead, but like I said, I will have to double check with the official race results, but I do
Yeah, I
believe
think
you are going to be
Kevin-
very close to it.
We are close. We are close, but I think Kevin just nudged me out on that one. I didn't know that was an extra thing. I just looked.
Either way, James, you walk out of here $300 Canadian richer. What do you plan on doing
Hey,
with
I'll
your
take
race
that.
winnings?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. This is going to my trip to Miami, and where we're going May 5th through the 12th. So that's gonna go in my Miami fund, and I was hoping to have a little bit more into it, but you know, the racing gods weren't with me.
Well, you came very close. Justin, you got anything for James before we let him loose?
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations to you tonight. You were honestly my pick to win tonight. I always know that you're one of the tougher competitors out there. But was there anything going on in your mind through those last 3 laps, or?
Oh man, so the last like the last 50, I'm like, please don't have a caution, please don't have a caution. But then once we got a caution and I got beat off of pit road, it was just mainly like I don't want to do him dirty, right? Like Kevin earned his spot, he got up there, and if I was gonna beat him, I wanted to be able to beat him clean. And that first restart, I think I had a shot at it, but then you know somebody wrecked again. And then the second green white checkered, like he got a better restart, and I could have, you know, I could have Sammy Smith them, right? I don't want to race that way, even for a win of a substantial amount of money. I don't know. I take pride in not racing like that, so I didn't. So, you know, that's kind of where it was. It was basically like race as hard as I can, try to get them, but don't wreck them.
Absolutely, James. Well, we thank you for racing clean and racing hard. You definitely had a little bit for Kevin, just came up that little bit short at the very end. I'm sure you got a few sponsors you want to thank for helping get that car fast tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I want to thank first and foremost, Tom. I want to thank you and your Race for Kids race. It's a cool deal. I appreciate what you're doing with that. Obviously it's helping Canadian kids, but they're still kids, so I'm all right with it. And then I got to thank Hey Cars Race Cars, Justin Brooks Designs, BroFab Welding and Fabrication. Those guys, all good friends of mine, and that's why I run them on my car. And I'm glad to put a good show on for them.
Well, thank you, James. Congratulations on second. I hope you have a great time in Miami there, having a few beers on us.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, thank you, Tom. Thanks again for doing all this. Thank you, Justin, for the kind words. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to, make you a winner as well with me being your pick.
Oh, it's all right. You still made me proud, buddy. Good job tonight.
Thanks, buddy. Y'all have a good night.
All right, Justin. Well, how about we bring in the man of the hour right now, Mr. Kevin Tick, after putting on a clinic out there tonight, Kevin. You had a bit of an up and down night. You had to. I think you almost took that back to front challenge a little too seriously, and you did it a few times, did you not?
Yeah, not on purpose. I mean, I got a black flag there on the one start. So, Matt pulled in, coming to the one to green, and it sort of messed stuff up, and I ended up getting a penalty there. And I was lucky that I was able to serve it when I did, and get a caution right quick, so I didn't go laps down and whatnot. So that was pretty lucky there. But yeah, other than that, just trying to keep clean, keep the nose clean, and just run my own race.
Well, and you definitely did that in spades there, Kevin. You were kind of in the thick of the hornet's nest for a good majority of this race. what was the key to keeping that nose clean in the back of that pack there, where, you know, especially in that first half where it was a caution after caution kind of thing?
Uh, just be patient. You know, don't put your the nose of the car in stupid places. I mean, make sure that the guys are actually going to give you room. Don't just, you know, chuck it in there and make room. Um, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, smart racing.
Well, and if there's anyone on this track that I know is good at smart racing, it's you, Kevin. I've watched you race both in real life here at Sutherland Automotive Speedway as well as in several different leagues, and you definitely know when to push hard. You definitely know when to be that little bit conservative and stay out of the way, and that worked out for you well tonight.
Yeah, you know, we were able to make our way up through that second half, and we had that nice long green flag run, and thought I could have caught James on that. I really closed the gap, but I just burnt my stuff up too much. So, I mean, I was sort of, you know, in the back of my mind hoping we were going to get a caution, and, you know, luckily we did. I mean, I'm sure James really, really hated to see that, and just being able to beat him at a pit road too, because being that leader on those restarts is such a huge advantage.
Oh, absolutely. We watched Jeremy Brooks there in that first half of the race. He like taking that outside line on the restart and absolutely obliterated. Did you find that outside line to be preferred on the restart and then move down, or did you just rather
Uh,
that inside?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really have the chance to really play with it to see, you know, what was going to be better. So I mean, guys were starting on the top, and there's a little bit more better of an angle coming off of four there to, you know, really hammer down and not really spin the tires. So
Well, either way, Kevin, you ran a hell of a race tonight. You netted yourself $600 to the good. Do you have any plans for that money?
I don't know, not a clue yet. I don't know. Maybe put it away for our son and see what he'll do when he's older.
Well, yeah, you do have a newborn child there, you and your wife there, Desi, and that might be a good thing. You know, might be a good start to a racing fun for him.
It sure will.
All right, Kevin, I'm sure you got a few sponsors you want to give a shout out to help. You know, it's not a one-man show even here on sim racing to get those cars that stupid fast.
I don't know. I don't really got anyone. I mean, I'll give a shout out to Jordan for Custom Paints and Diecast. I mean, he paints great looking cars. So if anyone needs a car painted up, you know, any car, you guys go contact him and he'll do a great job. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'll give a shout out to you guys in the booth and you for putting on such a great event.
I am very proud to host this. You know, the Children's Hospital is kind of near and dear. I don't know anyone personally, but I love what they do, and I am more than happy to put on this event to help raise this, even if it's a couple of bucks. You know, a couple of bucks goes a long way.
Yes, it does.
You got anything, Justin, for our race winner?
Yeah, I actually just sent you a Discord message, but since Larson passed up on the free rep from fastest qualifier, that is now yours too, sir.
Oh, I might have to take that up. See what we
Oh,
can
we
come
can.
up.
Were a few examples of the cars that I painted tonight. The 41 of Hunter Wellman and the 127 of Ray Andrews were cars that I did. But I can always send you some more examples if you'd like, and we can sit down and get something painted up for you.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Not a problem, and thank you.
Alrighty, Kevin. Well, congratulations on the race win there. You definitely looked excited in your burnout. You definitely deserve to be excited after that hard-fought battle all the way through. Uh, Congratulations and enjoy the winnings.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, Justin. Well, that'll bring us towards the end of our broadcast here tonight. What are your takeaways from tonight's race?
Uh, Patience. Patience is a big part of playing a good race, and there were some that had it and some that didn't, but they definitely put on a great race tonight.
Absolutely, and you heard that straight from our race winner's mouth himself there, that patience is key. knowing when to make the move, not sticking your nose somewhere it doesn't belong, being patient to make those moves and make those passes, and it definitely worked out in his favor, bringing him up through the pack several times tonight to win the race.
Yeah, he definitely put on one hell of a show tonight, especially driving from the back to the front. Everybody honestly put on a great race tonight. I want to thank everybody that joined us in this wonderful effort to raise money for these children. Everybody from Misfit Creations, you have a good night.
Absolutely, and most of all, I want to thank not only our racers for spending the $25 to come in and join us on track tonight. I want to thank our sponsors, Starosta Trucking, DJ's Windows and Aerial Access, you, Justin, with Misfit Creations. Without sponsors like you, we couldn't put on an event like this.
Well, I appreciate it, and anytime that you need another sponsor for this event, I will be there.
Absolutely, we will definitely keep you in mind. And doing a little bit of quick math here, with 17 drivers in our field, times $25, that is a $425 donation to the Jim Patterson Children's Hospital. Plus, I just got notification that Tammy Shirley donated $40. So we will be sending $465 to the Jim Patterson Children's Hospital as part of the Sutherland Automotive Speedway's Race for the Kids this summer. So I believe that there needs to be a huge shout out to our racers for putting their money where their mouth is, giving up their time, coming out, putting on one heck of a show. And yeah, Justin, I don't know what else there is to say.
Yeah, there's not much more to say except for good night and have a good evening.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you once again to our sponsors, Starosta Trucking, DJ's Windows and Aerial Access, Misfit Creations. Thank you to our drivers. Congratulations to our top 5 payout drivers. I will have to do some figuring out, but Ray Andrews for sure brought home the hardest charger. I want to say Pileski brought the fastest lap challenge. Kevin Dick took the back to front challenge and completed it and defended his title from last year. And most of all, guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in. We will call it a night here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tom Quiring. Thank you to Justin for joining me here in the booth calling tonight's race. Justin, it's been a pleasure having you.
Been a pleasure doing this again with you, Tom. I'll be back again for sure.
Absolutely. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. You have yourselves a good night, and thank you for joining.
Woo,